Last weekend, I ran my first ever half marathon. It was completely impromptu and just on gut feeling on the day, but it's meant that this past week's training has been classed as a deload week. So today's video is all about me showing you what actually goes on in a deload week, how I structure it, how it's different than other training weeks, and what sort of stuff I prioritise during this week of training. So please subscribe if you're new here. We'd love to have you as part of the team. And let's get to today's video. So what actually is a deload week? For me, a deload week is really just cutting back on some of the intensity, the volume, or the frequency of your regular training and give you the opportunity to recover and spend a bit more time on some more recovery activities. So what does that look like for me? This past week, what I've done is I've reduced all my lifting weights by 50%. So this past week, stick to the same sort of programming, but I just cut my working weights to 50% of what I usually would and focus on maybe higher rep schemes. So focusing on maybe like the 10 to 12 reps rather than the kind of 6 to 8 or the more strength-based stuff. Just as an opportunity to still keep the consistency with my training, still practicing the movement patterns, but just take the foot off the gas a wee bit, allow my body to recover so that we can kick some ass in the next few weeks coming. Another huge aspect of my deload training is increasing the volume of mobility and stretching. Especially after that half marathon effort, my legs are absolutely goosed, quite honestly. So it's all about just trying to kind of get the circulation back, stretch off some of the major DOMs, increase my mobility, just try and like break down that fatigue, especially the first couple of days. So the kind of Monday, Tuesday, it was really just about increasing that mobility factor, spending a bit more time in a warm up, spending a bit more time on a cool down every session, and just trying to gradually increase the intensity again towards the end of the week. It's also an opportunity to try out some new things. So because I'm not really focused on the structured element of this week, it's really just going off my body and how that's feeling. So whilst my focus is still on mobility and stretching and recovery, I do like to use this opportunity to try out new exercises, new movements, new skills, see if there's anything I might want to throw into my training program that I've maybe not had time to think about because I've been working towards my goals. Yeah, deload weeks can actually be a real positive for your training, not just the recovery element, but an opportunity for you to try out some new things in the gym, find something new that you like, a new variation, a new exercise, a new movement pattern, like something just to kind of spark up the rest of your training block or your new training if you're using this at the end of your current training block. When's the best time to use a deload week? Quite honestly, whenever you feel like it. Typically, if you're new to this channel, I've spoke about it in previous videos, I'll program my own training in 12 weekly blocks. So I would typically have a structured deload week at the end of each block, where it is just an opportunity to kind of transition into my new block and try out some of the movements and see what works, what doesn't, and just kind of finesse the next 12-week program. But like me, if you've maybe went hard for a while or you've kind of pushed it in a big session in a big week and life's getting a bit crazy, there's no reason why you can't just have like a couple of days or even a week just to recover and prioritize feeling your body, getting that kind of energy level back so that you can hit the rest of your training period with a bit more intensity. So yeah, the appropriate time is whenever you think you feel like you need one, quite honestly. Deload weeks can be awesome, as I've touched upon. It doesn't have to be about, oh, we have to go all the time, otherwise you're not going to see results. You might actually find taking a few days off or just cutting back your volume, frequency, and intensity in your training, that when you get back to the kind of higher, heavier stuff, that you've kind of break through that plateau quite easily. Deload weeks can be such a good way just to recharge and make sure that you can catapult the next few months of your training. At least that's the way I'm looking at it. And as I've said, this deload week for me came kind of impromptu. Honestly, after my half marathon effort, legs were feeling it, hips a bit iffy. So it was an appropriate time I even took a day off on Monday, so I didn't do any training. I did a yoga class on the Monday night, but I felt like my body needed just that kind of day off away from the weights, away from the gym. And it felt pretty magic for it. And as I said, the last kind of few days have just been gradually increasing intensity again, so that this coming week, I'm back to it, I'm back to the grind, I'm feeling good, feeling recharged and ready to push on for the remainder of my block. And that's, for me, what deload weeks are all about, is recharging so that you can kick on the next stage of your training. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. Please subscribe, I'd love you to be here in the next video. Let me know if you are thinking about a deload week. If you want some more information about my own deload week, please message in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until the next one, have an awesome day.